Good morning, Justice Warriors. It is Friday, December 2nd. It's about a quarter to 10 in the morning, and I am just dying to make you guys a video. I am serious. I really enjoy being a content creator, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate the people that watch my videos and have subbed and make comments and send me emails. You guys are amazing. So yes, there are some trolls out there and that's, goes with the territory, but for the most part, for every one troll you have 100 really good, nice people who are just appreciative of what we do as content creators. So I wanted to follow up on a few cases, and let me first make my little disclaimer. Everything I say is my opinion only. It is purely for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion, potentially educational, and it's YouTube, so I do need to add in there that it is sometimes entertaining, but that's absolutely not the direction that my work is geared towards. So, also, please hit that like button if you don't mind. And if you would like to share and subscribe, those are free ways that you can help out a content creator like myself. I have not even monetized my channel yet, which I really enjoy that not only have I not made any money from my channel, I've actually spent a lot of money on creating my channel, and I'm glad for that because it's absolutely genuine and from the heart and has nothing to do with financial motivation. So I just want to clarify that. So yesterday I had kind of a broad brushstroke in my video covering many cases. The thing that there's a couple of things that are the common threads in these cases, and one of the most important is that they're all still open cases. Once a case is closed, it is very, very hard for that case to ever get reopened. And that is my concern in all of these cases. Um, we've got the Kylie Rodney case, which is obviously where I started my channel. We've got the Trinity Backus case, which has way too many commonalities with the Kylie Rodney case. Way too many. It's just weird, right? Then we've got um, the Idaho 4, the insane bludgeoning of these beautiful young adults, unbelievable. And then we've got the Shankella Robinson in Mexico. She's from North Carolina, and that case is also just atrocious. One of the complexities with that case is that it's out of the country, right? So that is a whole monkey wrench for finding justice for her and for her loved ones. Um, the situation in Idaho is just mind boggling, right? I mean, that they don't have any suspects or arrests. There has been some misinformation in the Shankella case that there were arrests, and it has been, I think, misinformation that there were possibly arrest warrants issued out of Mexico, but they haven't said who those arrest warrants are for, so they certainly haven't served those arrest warrants. But there have been arrest warrants issued from Mexico, to my understanding. Um, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to reread to you guys the post that Ms. Ashley Bajorkland put up uh, pretty quickly after Trinity Backus was found deceased after being at her home. So, as we all know, Ashley Bajorkland is the best friend of Trinity Backus's mother, and uh, both Ashley and Trinity's mother have arrest records. So, it's just so unbelievable. So I'm going to read through this again. I read through it last week or a week or two ago, and it just is stunning to me. All right, so this is how she starts. First of all, I want to start by saying thank you to all the kind souls out there for your love and respect and kind words during the most tragic time of our lives. We did everything in our power that any parent or family member would do in our situation to find our sweet girl. Unfortunately, it was too late, and that is something we will have to live with. That is something that is never going to go away, and that is something that is going to leave a hole in our hearts for the rest of our lives. I hope this answers some of your questions. Wednesday the 9th. I got home from Sarah's house where I was hanging out making Christmas signs. I left her house around 3:45 to 4 o'clock, where I headed home to meet Logan, who was coming to bring me dinner. I just have to interject here. I still have no idea what a Christmas sign is. And if anybody has an idea, please send me an email or put it in the comments because it just makes no sense to me. Christmas signs. Okay. When I pulled into the driveway, I seen Trinity's car. At that point, I had remembered that she texted me about a week previously asking if she could have a sleepover with her girlfriend. When I got into the house, the girls had thrown their stuff on the floor in the living room and they were sitting out back. I had come outside and told them they need to come inside and pick up their stuff, that my living room was not their bedroom. At that point, they both came in, folded their clothes and whatnot, and stacked it on the couch. Trinity asked me if her and her friend could make some popcorn. I said yes. I got it out of the cupboard for them. She put it in the microwave and cooked it. After that, her and her friend came back outside and were hanging out on my porch. I went in my room, drew a bath, sat on my bed, ate some food with Logan. I got into the bath. Trinity had texted me while in the bath asking me if I had any paintbrushes because her and her friend wanted to do watercolor. I called her and told her that I had some in the shed. I told her where they were and hung up the phone. I was in the bath for probably about another 30 to 45 minutes. During all of that time, Logan was sitting with me in the bathroom. I got out of the bath, got dressed. Logan and I went and sat on the back porch. Trinity and Hannah were sitting on the other side of my porch. I told them both to come over and sit in front of my room so they did not disturb my roommate. The girls got up, came and sat down with me, and they were curled up. Trinity was wearing my robe. She had a blanket over her, and her friend was sitting next to her, wearing my big, fluffy black jacket. Trinity wanted to show me the watercoloring pictures they had done, so she asked me to hand her the book. At that point, we spent a little while going through her pictures, and she was explaining to me what each of them meant. Her and her friend were curled up, hanging out, being pretty mellow for the most part. Trinity asked me if she could braid my hair, so we went into my room and we all sat on my bed, all of us being Logan, me, Trin, and her friend. Trinity parted my hair and started doing two French braids, only she thought it would be funny to tie my hair into a knot to hold the braid. I told her to stop putting knots in my hair and get it out, and she thought it was funny and started giggling and said that she couldn't, the knot was too bad. At that point, I told her to get out of my room, go to bed, and she was done braiding my hair if she was going to put knots in it. I got up, went into the bathroom, and brushed my hair out. Trin and her friend went out to the living room, turned on the TV, and got comfy on the couch. I texted her telling her I'm sorry for getting frustrated and I loved her. Then I had texted her when I lay down asking her to please turn down the TV. She texted me back asking if it was still too loud. I told her to please turn it down a little bit more. At that point, I fell asleep, and that was probably around 9:45. Logan was in bed next to me watching TV, starting to doze off as well. Hannah says at around 10:15 or so, they went outside on the porch to smoke weed. One of the girls had brought a bong over, and that is what they were smoking out of Friend says that when the lighter went off, Trinity got really scared and started to freak out. At 10:30, she opened my back door, yelling that the house was going to blow up. At that point, I jumped out of bed, ran out into the living room because I thought the house was on fire because I have an open place fireplace. The house was fine. I was in a daze and very confused. I walked back into my bedroom where my back door was open. Logan was on the porch and I could see Trinity. I told her she needs to get her butt inside and go to bed. She was yelling, speaking nonsense that I did not understand, and she told Logan she could see radiation to come outside. She would show him. Logan at that point went into the house, put his shoes and a sweater on, and went back outside. That was within seconds. He came back into the house minutes later and said to me he could not find her. I got out of bed and dressed, and we started searching the property, at which point we could still not find her. So I called her mom, probably about 30 minutes within all of this happening. Her mom was up to my house within 15 to 20 minutes max. Mind you, she lives down Highway 49. As soon as she got there, she had got out of the car, started screaming Trinity's name, and searched. At that point, I called 911. The cops were up here within 30 minutes. After they showed up, search and rescue was up here within an hour. Remember, within that hour, we did not stop looking. We were searching. Everybody that was here was looking for her. We were walking through people's yards, screaming her name, searching my property, my outbuildings, my chicken coops. We drove down the block. We drove up and down Bitney Springs. We drove the dirt road that goes past my house down toward Excelsior. Excelsior? That's the name of a street. We did not stop looking for our sweet girl until she was found. For those of you who are making speculations, I understand everybody has a lot of questions and people want to know why we didn't put out to the public that the kids had done drugs. We were advised by authority that telling the public that she and her friend had snuck and done acid was not going to help the situation. You have to understand people have judgment, and we were not looking for that. And all we wanted to do was find her safe and bring her home. Telling people that she was on drugs could have put her in further danger if she was wandering the streets and picked up by somebody who wanted to do further harm or influence her in a bad way. People want to make speculation about her biological father's podcasts. Well, why don't you ask yourself why her bio father is not in her life before you want to point fingers? I'm not here to fight and I'm not here to argue, but please don't be a follower. Do your homework, do your research. The truth will come out, and we have no problem sharing with the community what truly happened as soon as we get back the toxicology and the autopsy. I really need everybody to understand that her boyfriend Francis did not give her drugs. He does not sell drugs. He is an amazing kid. He was Trinity's love. They were best friends, and he was her person, and she was his. He is going through more pain than any of you will ever have to know in a lifetime. So please try to have the respect and the kindness in your heart that he deserves. Andrea wants her daughter to be remembered for who she was. She was the most amazing human. She loved her family so much. Her mom was one of her best friends. What teenager has pictures of their mom in their room on their desk? Trinity was an artist. She started drawing and painting at a very young age. I think it gave her a sense of peace and a way of expressing herself. Trinity also loved to do hair. She was the most incredible braider I had ever met. She taught herself how to do that on her dolls and watching videos. She didn't always love being a big sister, but she was always there no matter what with her little sister when her little sister needed her, and she loved her fiercely. She enjoyed going to the river and hiking. She wasn't the kind of girl who wanted to be friends with everybody, but when her soul resonated with yours, she held you close, cared for you like nobody ever would, and was a true friend. Trinity loved music, dancing, and making funny TikToks, even though some of them were sometimes a little odd. What more can you expect from a teenager who's going through hormonal stage? Trinity enjoyed babysitting on her free time to save up for special trips. Francis and her were planning to go to Hawaii together, and so she was saving every dollar to walk hand in hand with her first and only love on the beach. Please remember Trinity for who she was and not the stupid, childish mistake she chose to make. Kids are kids, and they're not advanced enough to know the outcome of their actions. Unfortunately, her mistake cost her her life and left us with a hole that will never be filled and a love that we will never know again. Man, that is a long winded post. So, you know, there's so much in that. It's so loaded, but I think what I wanted to just underscore again are the similarities with Ms. Trinity Backus's case and Ms. Kylie Rodney's case. And in both of their cases, their mothers protecting the very people that their daughters were with when they ended up dead. Protecting the people that their daughters were with when they ended up dead. That makes no sense to me. I'm a mother of four. God forbid if anything were to ever happen to any of my children, I don't think I'd be so forgiving. I mean, putting it mildly. But what's really stunning to me is that both of these mothers of Trinity and Kylie have not only been protecting the people that their children are with, but also not wanting anyone to inquire about what happened. That makes no sense to me at all. I would want no stone unturned. I would want all of the information, all of the answers to try to make sense of something so devastating. So these to me are very severe red flags that indicate a problem. The most obvious problem being that these children were not being protected by their guardians, by their legal guardians, right? That is a terrible, terrible predicament that the younger siblings are still in. And obviously, the moms are going to be very defensive about that issue. So, both of these cases are Nevada County Sheriff Department cases, and both of these cases are still open. There's about 70 similarities that I outlined in the last couple of weeks, and to me, the takeaway is we have two beautiful, healthy, striking, smart young women who very likely inspired jealousy from people around them. And I wonder if jealousy was a factor in the case with the Idaho Four and with Shinkella as well. These beautiful young people that had everything going for them were very likely harmed by the people that they considered their friends. And that just does not sit well with me. And then for there to be a lack of accountability absolutely does not sit well with me. The police, the law enforcement need to hold people accountable. These two young women, Kylie and Trinity, did not just overreact and die. I just can't say that enough. They did not bring this upon themselves. And For anybody who doesn't want to see that, you need to ask yourself, what is it that you don't want to see? What is it that you don't want to see? Is it domestic violence? Because, of course, none of us want to see domestic violence. None of us want to talk about domestic violence. We don't want to be the bearers of the bad news. But domestic violence is real, and domestic violence takes many, many people's lives every year, especially females. And it's especially hard to look at when it's younger, underage minors who may be getting harmed by other young people. Nobody wants to think about that, but it needs to be thoroughly examined. There needs to be accountability. There needs to be justice. There absolutely needs to be justice. Without justice, their souls cannot rest in peace. That is something I feel extremely strong about. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope that people are able to keep their spirits up and stay focused on what really matters with these people that have lost their lives. And, thank goodness for law enforcement. Thank goodness for good and honest and respectable law enforcement. And let's hold all of these officers of the law to the highest ethical standards. And anyone who brings that level down needs to be investigated. Seriously. I mean, it takes one bad apple to ruin the whole batch. And I am a very strong supporter of law enforcement. I do not like to criticize professionals doing their jobs. However, the doing their jobs is the key element here, correct? We need justice, and the only way we're going to get that is with law enforcement doing appropriate investigations and interrogating appropriate parties. So here I am once again on my little soapbox. I try to stay off my soapbox, but habits are hard to break, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend and take care of yourself. Drink your water, eat your protein, eat your produce. Remember, 9 servings a day for us grown-ups. It's hard to accomplish, but it's immediate gratification. If you're eating healthy, staying hydrated, and getting your exercise, you literally will feel it immediately. You do not need to wait for the long-term effects. You will feel it right away, especially if you're getting your sleep, right? Most importantly, if you're getting your sleep. So, peace out. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.